morning and welcome to the LNG Marketplace Weekly News Flash. Here is the latest news we have collected for you from all over the media. S&P Global Platts and Intercontinental Exchange extended their technology partnership to bring the Platts editorial window communication tool to the LNG trading community. eWindow is an online data entry and communications tool that allows market participants to communicate bids, offers, and transactions directly to Platts editors and the marketplace simultaneously, as stated on Business Wire. According to the Financial Review, LNG buyers in Asia are not happy that the contract prices are so much higher than the spot prices. The customers in Japan and South Korea are prepared to act aggressively in price review negotiations, as most LNG crude oil-based contract prices are now more than double than spot prices. Korea Gas Corporation and Osaka Gas are already in arbitration to resolve pricing disputes. Woodside Petroleum, Oil Search, and Santos are most likely the producers facing the biggest threat to their LNG export revenues. In a bid to curb greenhouse gas emissions, Chevron is reportedly seeking approval of its plan to modify the Kitimat LNG facility to an all-electric design, powered by hydroelectricity, with the diesel backup only for emergencies. If the proposed plan materializes, the plant will achieve the lowest emission intensity among all large-scale LNG projects in the world. Kitimat LNG project awaits final investment decision, and it is expected to lead to tremendous growth possibilities in the long-term state. This we found on Transport Topics and Finance Yahoo. The tropical storm Barry puts 70% of U.S. LNG capacity at risk. Cheniere Energy, Sabine Pass, and Sempra's Energy Cameron are potentially in the path of the storm. Sabine Pass has 5 tanks for storing super-chilled gas, but 2 have been unavailable since the beginning of last year. So the company has less flexibility to stock up on LNG when ships can't reach the terminal to load cargoes during the bad weather. Cameron LNG is not scheduled to receive any tankers to load for export for the anticipated duration of Tropical Storm Barry, as we read on RigZone and SeekingAlpha.com. Recently released study by CLNG, the Multi-Sector Industry Coalition, states that LNG as a marine fuel is the most financially effective for pure car and truck carriers on the Atlantic and Pacific trade lines. While the study focuses specifically on this investment case, the coalition will soon analyze the investment case for dry bulk vessels and very large crude carriers. This piece of news we found on Marine Link. GTT Training has obtained DNVGL approval for GSIM LNG bunkering and fuel gas handling system software. This new simulator is the first of its kind for LNG as fuel applications. It answers the expectations of training providers and ship owners desiring to train their teams to the use of LNG as marine fuel, as stated on Hellenic Shipping News. On Marine Log, we have read that Titan LNG has completed the world's largest LNG bunkering operation for the world's largest and most powerful semi-submersible crane vessel, Sleipnir, which is being supplied with 3,000 metric tons of LNG. Titan LNG chartered the Anthony Veda Coral Fraseri small-scale LNG vessel to perform a ship-to-ship operation. Now, let's move on to China. LNG growth in China drives a very large LNG carrier's design. Lloyd's Register China Classification Society and 5 other Chinese organizations are to design and develop the first 220,000 cubic meter LNG carrier with a GTT Mark III membrane cargo containment system. The 7 parties will collaborate to enhance the competitiveness in the large LNG carrier market, as stated on Rivera. The Italian oil major Eni, the China's energy unit PetroChina, and 2 trading houses are vying to supply LNG to Pakistan in one of the largest tenders ever. The 240 cargo 10-year tender, which is likely to be worth from $5 billion to $6 billion US, was issued last month and recently closed. Pakistan is expected to be a significant growth driver in global LNG demand. This we found on Reuters. And another groundbreaking agreement, Fortis BC Energy will export Canadian LNG produced by its small-scale LNG terminal in British Columbia in its standard-size shipping containers to China, starting in 2021. This deal is small, but it is a sign of things yet to come. Furthermore, the containers provided to China were moved by trucks for distribution in the country, giving them flexibility to meet the needs of the industrial and public utility customers, which are not connected to the natural gas pipeline distribution. This we read on Rivera and Business Financial Post. The Russian government has allocated nearly $800 million to construct LNG carriers for the Arctic LNG 2 project, expected to start in 2023. The Zvezda shipbuilding complex, a Rosneft-led shipyard, together with Russia's shipping company Sovcomflot, will construct the vessel. Russia intends to grow its LNG potential amid the escalating pressure coming from Washington via sanctions, as stated on Kallanish Energy. And last but not least, Qatar Gas, the world's premier LNG company, successfully delivered the 3,000th LNG cargo to Japan. That's an important milestone. You can read more about it on Hellenic Shipping. That's it for this week. Tune in next week for more news, and until then, thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you do not miss our news flash anywhere.